everybody, welcome to this week's Wednesday WIG Q&A. I get this one a lot as well. It's basically a very simple question. I'll be showing a wig, doing a wig chat. It'll be, it doesn't matter, it seems. If it doesn't have a bang, something like even Mina, this one for instance, just about anyone that does not have a bang, I'll have people say, do you think I could get a bang in there? How do you think? Do you think I could trim a bit of a fringe or a wispy bang? And here's the thing. If it is a heat-friendly fiber, I would say most of the time, yes, you can. If not all the time, you can trim a bang in those, because if it acts a little funny, you can carefully do what you can do with a tiny little bit of heat and make it work. However, if it's a synthetic fiber, one that is a non-heat friendly fiber, that can be a little trickier. I would definitely be a lot more hesitant and careful if you decide to trim a bang in one of those kinds of wigs, especially if it's a wig that has a bit of a wave to it, or if it's a curly wig or somewhere in the middle. Be really careful with the non-heat friendly ones, because they have a memory, and even if you wash it, that memory in that wave, it's going to come right back. So depending on where you decided to trim that bang into that wave pattern, that's how it's going to be every single time. Sometimes if you're not careful, you can get a real funky looking something going on there, and there's not a whole lot you can do. Now, before I go into, some people say you can do this with the non-heat friendly fibers. Some say you can use a little heat to them. Some people say you can do a little bit of, blow dryer on low setting. You can straighten it a little bit. I would say proceed at your own risk. They are not intended to have heat, and so you really are risking really damaging that wig. Be really careful. I really highly recommend that if you love that wig and you spend a good amount of money on it, I would not experiment with heat in a non-heat friendly fiber. I just wouldn't do it. Let's get back to the bang thing. Now, let's say that this is a topper, actually, a beautiful topper, and I just did a topper chat on it. So if you want to know more about it, watch the topper chat that I did yesterday. It's a bell truss wig topper. It's gorgeous. It's heat friendly. So say you have this topper and you're like, Jill, I really like it, but I would really prefer to maybe put in a little side bang in there. Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely, you could do that. Be careful, be careful. And I always say this whenever somebody says anything about trimming, cutting, or anything. Definitely go longer than you think you want it, and take less hair when you trim it than you think you need. And comb it, comb it, comb it, comb it. Make sure everything is in place before you take that scissor to it, because lots of times, if you're not careful, the hair's not laying where it's gonna lay once you trim it, and it really, really can mess it all up. So, the rule of thumb is definitely, comb it way more into the position, and, make sure everything is right, and make sure all the hair is down and not tucked away before you trim it. That's really important. But the rule of thumb, again, above that as well, is trim it longer than you think you want it, and trim less hair than you think you need. With bangs, it is so important that you don't cut more than you need. You don't need much hair. You'd be surprised. You'd be really surprised how little hair you need to make a little side wispy bang. I mean, that goes for human hair as well. You always usually will need less than you think. And you can't go back once you trim these wigs, and it won't grow back. And that's really sad. So that's a real big one for you guys. So boy, yeah, these heat-friendly fibers, say, you trimmed a bang in it, or even if you like a full bang, you trimmed it and it's sticking out, it's sticking up weird, you can use the Helen of Troy brushes that are like little blow dryers, put it on low setting, and you can coax that under and it'll be fine. However, when you're dealing with, again, the regular synthetic fibers that are not heat friendly, and it's sticking straight out, or you got it on a funky, weird bend of the wave and it's just not working, at your own risk, guys, at your own risk. I have experimented with the Helen of Troy little blow dryer brushy thing that everybody talks about, that it works great. And it did work great. I used it on my Ignite wig on low setting and just really moved it, didn't keep it there, and it did a good job. I experimented on a non-heat friendly fiber and did the same thing. No. It definitely ruined the fiber a little bit. I, of course, stopped when I could feel that texture kind of change. It wasn't terrible. I can still wear it, but I definitely can see the damage, feel the damage, and I don't recommend it. I just don't, you guys. Do that at your own risk. Many of you have had great success, and maybe it depends on which brand of non-heat friendly fiber it is, but I was told that the Helen of Troy ones are great. They have that low setting, and it worked great on, a heat friendly fiber, but I don't recommend it on the non-heat friendly fibers. These are too expensive. If you have a real inexpensive wig or one that you're about ready to throw out, oh my Lord, go, yes, experiment with all those things, and see what works. But I'm telling you, I spent these are too expensive to mess up on in that way, especially when you probably shouldn't be doing it. So yeah. So be very careful cutting your fringe, bangs, side swept, whatever, in something with a wave pattern. And yeah, really, really pay attention to where those scissors are going to cut that fiber and where it is in that wave pattern, because that's what you're going to be left with the non-heat friendly fibers. Most any wig you can do a little bang in, but I'm telling you, sometimes something like this is my top wave topper, okay, and it has, as you can see, a little wave to it. Now, if I wanted to put a tiny little bit of fringe in this one, I probably definitely could, because the wave pattern is quite gentle, and it's not got a lot going on here right around the face. But if you're thinking about doing a bang, especially in a topper, now, you got to be careful, because you want all the coverage that you can get on the sides and everything in a topper, because, these caps stop right about here. So that is a definite reason why you want to take less than you think you need, because I want to keep as much coverage as I can on the sides everywhere. So I don't want to ruin that coverage by getting too much of this in here, thinking I'm going to need all of that to do a bang, and definitely, kind of messing up the needs of coverage when it comes to these toppers. So that's my advice for you when I have people ask me that about putting bangs in, because I know many of you really feel secure having a little hair here. I don't know why I'm not like that, because I have a very large, tall forehead. I don't know. I'm just so used to my forehead. I'm used to going years and years not being able to wear a bang, because I just don't have enough hair there, that I guess I've gotten used to seeing myself with just all this forehead. I do like to have a little something to the side, and it softens the face, I think, a little bit, rather than it's something that's like wonk. At my age, I don't want to have all that pulling me down, as my mom would say. But, so I do like to have a little something there on the side as well. But all right, guys, that's it for this week's Wig Wednesday Q&A. If you have any questions you'd love to ask about wigs or toppers, please put them down below in the comment box. I will answer them if I can. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.